What's up, guys? YouTube. In this video I want to talk about what's God truly desire. What it's like to be a friend of God and walk with God. And I'm no expert on this. I don't do everything perfectly, but when my heart wants to share something that I think is important in my view, it may not line up with your beliefs, but maybe we can come to some common ground out there. First, check out this tree. Look at the base on it. I forget what they call them, but I mean, it may be a really pretty piece of wood under there. You never know. I know certain trees, it's pretty sick, but that tree got thorns all over it. Look at this. Look, like that hurts. Look at that. Pretty crazy. I'm in Fort Myers, Florida, so there's all kinds of things that prick you. Adam and Eve, right off the rip, he didn't have a Bible, he didn't have anything. He could talk to God directly, and they could talk to animals, and they built relationships. Because when you go over to a friend's house or one of your fellow Christians, first thing you got to have is a relationship. First thing you do is you got to talk with them, get to know them, click. You have to be around believers like yourself that push you. You don't want believers that just believe everything you say, but you want people they'll push you. But Adam and Eve, he walked with them, he talked with them, and that all comes from inside you, your heart. All this outwardly stuff's important, but that is not everything. I don't mean be cavalier and never read your Bible or go to church. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think the works become more important than the heart. And you see that on every corner now. You see churches like McDonald's, and you first thought of that, you'd be like, well, that's good. It's got somewhere to go to church and stuff like that. But it takes away the mystery of it. Churches 100 years ago were few and far between, and they took pride in building it. But really, the church is inside you. I think society today, we just need to go somewhere to do that. It's fellowship, that's fine. But we've took the church out of us. That's why YouTube's good. If you find somebody that's got like beliefs and they're not lying about everything, I've seen some videos that it's just as powerful as going to church. I've had an encounter with God. It's on my channel that called Vision of God. And he didn't say, good job on reading your Bible, David, man. I'm glad you came to church. He said, directly, in my own words, in my head, as the street lights above me while my eyes are closed, a guy speaking in tongues. And I never believed in that stuff, but this come out of nowhere. This wasn't anything I was doing. That's the point. And he said, I looked out in the darkness, and he said, if you ever leave me, all these demons and sin are going to enter back into your body. And when God speaks to you, it's hard, it makes you think. And I think he's talking about the relationship. I'm talking about talking from your heart to him and listening to him first. It's just amazing how my heart was the flesh, and then the world hardened it. Then it's going back to flesh. But I'm going to tell you, when I stopped talking to him as much on a personal level and listening, you'll slip right back into worldly thoughts. And it's just a matter of time of you'll turn back into that old person, or halfway turn back into him. And we don't want that. But just be careful out there of like who we listen to, because we keep trying to get Christians that are already saved to church. Well, Bobby's saved, we're going to get him to church on Sunday. We got to go after the people that never heard of the gospel. In Jesus and Paul and Peter's time, that was meant, the church age, that was meant to push the word of Jesus out there. Today you live in a time where if you don't know Jesus, you're living in the jungle somewhere. And even then people say, well, if they've never heard the gospel, because inside them they know there's a being called God. Believe me, these people running around the jungle, they know it. They have visions and dreams and share them, and like, I'm not talking some psychedelic dream, but I'm talking about, even these atheists knows that I don't believe you just call God the universe, but I'm saying he encompasses the universe. He is consciousness. He is this material world. He's physical world, like the being. Not the stuff that we create, but like the trees, that he's everything. Because it's all talking to him, it's all listening. And it's just amazing. But yeah, walk with God and pray to God and all these things, and that's most important in it all. And I'm gonna touch on a few things here, but it's just like some of the questions that people have, like, they're like, well, how come, this is the argument I used to make, how come is, if there's all good in heaven, why angels fell? Because God creates all beings with a free will, a choice. Otherwise, what's the point? If you can create a universe, right, and everything just does what you want, then what's the fun in that? There's no point to it. And another question that arises, I had it on my mind a minute ago. Dang, I lost it. I'm gonna pause it for a second and see if I can think of it. Just a second. Oh yeah, why is there evil in the world? And then once again, there's a choice. That just all relates to free will. And there's another one. Like God, people are like, well, how come this and that and the third? And it's like, because God does not have to play the same rules as you and I do. And going back to the heart of flesh, I got off on a little side mission there. If you know somebody struggling with an addiction, their heart's hardened at the moment. And what I've learned is, do not go in there trying to just get them into church and this, that, and the third. My family did that for years. What you do first is you stop enabling them. That's the first thing you do, because they will not listen to you to go to church or do their Bible. But believe me, they're crying out to the Lord. Believe me that. But for them to start talking to the Lord again and listening, they have to get to the end of their self. And the first thing you do is you have to get out of the way. That's what it took for me, and I was the worst addict you've ever seen in your life. And Even through all that mess, I cried out to the Lord. But now the point of today is talk with him. Listen. Rest of it's just icing on the cake. Alright. You guys take care. God bless, and see you again in the next one. Take care.